Patrick, how are you? Okay.
Sorry,
so
Dr. Ramat, my mic is off. I'm good, Dr. Ramat. So
I just broadcasted. You can see there are already
54,
good
58
numbers.
attendees. Yep, still in counting.
So how are you doing? Good?
Doing good, Doctor.
You
So
just
this is
get-
the third day, Doctor, for the Python.
this is every day, except
Every day, Doctor.
except the weekend. So from Sunday to
Raise your hand.
Thursday. Okay, good. So you can see people here. Just getting my slides to open. We
Sure,
did.
Doctor.
Uh,
You're in vacation, Doctor? Your background is good.
yeah, something like that.
Someone from the attendees like said that your background is nice.
Good. Now, while we are waiting, I have the survey for you, which I sent through the email. Please complete it. You received it through the email, so please go through that one and complete it. Well, just I'm getting this ready. It's just missed the number. What was that number we used last time? Yeah. It. Share. Today is the session number 4, yeah? Yeah, today is session
Yes,
number 4.
Doctor.
And very good. Good. So how many? 127.
25, 27, Doctor.
Yeah, it will go to 250, 60, something like that. Okay, I'll share screen. I asked you last time through the email to complete this feedback. I hope you do it because it will help us to get your feedback. I can see good number did 78. And I can see, and you gave really a nice feedback. Thank you for that. Can see lots of really good, positive and good ideas that we need to do. So continue completing this feedback when you have time. Here is the one again, came just now. Okay, good. Now let's move to today's session. And we will, today we'll be doing module number, let's move this one up. Module 4, yeah, Pandas. We'll be dealing with more than just Pandas today. So let's have a start. Good, just before I minimize this one and keep it somewhere here, you don't need to see it. Maybe also I run this one, yeah, so you are ready. So please make sure you connect to the course on IBM Cognitive cognitive class.ae, then login. You know, already been using this for some time. You know how to do this. And then go to the course. And we'll go to Python for data science. Then we will go. I saw many of you saying we need more of these courses. We'll do more. Don't worry, we'll do more. We have a plan to do many things. Today we are here. Yesterday, there's only one thing we did not cover. We spoke about object and classes, one thing, and we didn't do the exception. The exception, in fact, it's a lab that you need to do. I will do it today while we're doing Python. We will need to use some exceptions, so we'll create some exceptions, and so you will be able to practice it. My question to you, which I always ask you this question, which how many I have completed module 3? Yeah, we'll say yes. In progress. Didn't start. Okay. Now this is for you. You need to answer this one. You know how to answer it. You need the QR code. Oh, I'm sorry. I changed the code. Why did I change the code? I can put it back here. Do you remember what was the code? It was Python for data science. No, this wasn't the code. There was something else. Okay. Python, leave it as it is today, 93454. I will change it later because many of you already joined. So this is the code that you need, which simple code today, 93454. Yeah, so use this code to let me know how many of you completed. Now in progress is there and more in progress, or I know maybe because we did not do the exception, so you felt, but there are no questions in the review related to exception. So I still, you can do it and we can go through that one if you need help. But we need more of you to finish it, please. It's very simple. The review questions are very simple to do, and you can finish them if you did our. Those who didn't start, please start. Now, if you are new, this is the code. Let me put it in the chat, and Patrick, please, everyone ask for it. Just repaste it in the chat. So I'll add it to the chat. I'll send it to everyone there. So now it's in the chat. So anyone need it can click there and look at it. Now, there are so it's here. You just click on it. You will be coming here. You will finish this survey. Many in progress, so I need to help you getting this completed. You have to complete it. I think if you look at the review questions here are not that, there are only 6 questions. We covered all of them in terms of this. This is just simple if statement, simple, again, for loop, and here, this one, here, there's nothing about exception or even about classes. So you can easily finish these review questions if you just take time to finish them. Okay. Now again, raising hand is great, but don't raise it unless you really wanted to raise it. Yeah, Muhammad Mansour, usually you have questions, so I'll give you a chance to speak. Muhammad, unmute, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, Doctor, I have from yesterday's session, I have some questions really, but I raised my hand, but was no opportunity for me, but no problem. Just for now, we are learning Python, you know, for the data analytics and data science purposes. And you know, the type of data or the volume of data which we'll work with in Python, it will be big data or huge data. Yeah. Now, I asked yesterday the question of the declaration of variables. Now, because the type of variables makes a factor really in the performance and the speed exactly of execution of functions and subroutines or in the coding. If we compare it to other languages, for example, let's say Visual Basic or .NET or the C# or whatever, there is something called integer, there is something called long, there is something. So, and also even for the float, there is something which is decimal, there is something double precision, all these kinds of things really. How exactly we are sure that at the end our code is optimized for this kind of analytics?
Good. This is a very good question. Now, this is where Python comes different from others. Python takes that responsibility from you, and it uses its own algorithm to optimize the data. So if you declare something like a float and you used to store only small data there, it will manage the data needed to adjust to that float. Now, if you grow it and become big, it will expand the amount of data is needed. So it does it on behalf of you. Instead of you caring, oh, this will be double, it will be long. No, this is a float. It will take the responsibility of that. So you don't need to be worried about, is it going to optimize data? It's meant really for optimizing memory and optimizing processes. Today we'll be working with huge data. One file we'll try to access is around 2 giga of data. And you will see it will optimize how we deal with it. So it takes that responsibility. There is an algorithm behind the scene managing the conversion and those data size. But the other languages, you need to be specific, you need to be clear. So if you put it in int, later if it will grow, it will not fit there. You have to move it in int long or whatever it is. But here you don't need to be worried about that.
Okay. Thank you for this question. The answer to this question is clear. The other question regarding functions from yesterday. Now, there is in other programming languages, there is a recursive function. Recursive means that the function can call itself.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And here the same thing. And here there's the same thing. You can have a recursive function that will call itself until certain conditions are met, and then it will stop. You can have, but this is not the subject of that in this course. This is introducing people to Python for data analytics. So we get into that, we'll get into computer science, we'll get into optimizing processes. It's not for all the audience we have here. That's where it is.
Okay, Doctor, thank you.
Okay, good, thank you. Thank you for your question. These are really good questions. Okay, Huda, we'll just answer a few questions at the beginning, then we will start. Today we'll have really interesting subject. You will enjoy it because we'll work with real data. We spend time understanding the algorithm, the programming, the data type, the different type of collections, lists, dictionary, sets. And today we'll be putting all this in practice. So you should be looking at something interesting. Huda, I just allowed you to speak, but you need to unmute your microphone.
Actually, sir, I raised my hand by mistake. I'm so sorry.
No
I
worries.
don't have any question.
No worries.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Huda. Faris? Faris, you need to unmute your microphone.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, doctor. I have an issue with the while loops. In the lab, they had a question. It was so hard that I actually didn't understand anything in the while loop.
Yeah.
It's very complicated, and I couldn't understand because I don't know. It's hard to explain. They don't know how to explain, or I just don't understand.
Okay, no worries. We'll find out.
Literally,
Can
doctor,
you-
literally from 5 p.m. after we finished until 12, I was looking at one question. I couldn't solve it.
But that's very good. I'm happy you're doing that because this is programming. You get excited and you don't want to leave it until you fix it. Now, can you just paste your the section that has that question into the chat, and I will look at it later and we'll see what we can do with it.
Okay, doctor, no problem.
Pleasure. Thank you. Okay, I don't want to leave anyone, but because we need to start. But I'll give Seren the room to speak, or you. Okay, I can give you now the room to speak. Yeah, Seren. Yeah, Seren.
Seren, yes.
Seren. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Good afternoon, doctor, and thank you for all your efforts, first of all. I would like to ask, are we going to have a second cognitive course next week?
Yeah, we'll be, we're still continuing with the same course, but we'll do more practice on the things. We're not going to have another course. It's the same course for 2 weeks, but we will be repeating and practicing and making sure we understand how it works. Yeah, and then we'll have another one later. We're planning another one. We have some discussion with the team, so we'll be running a few more like this one.
Okay, doctor, thank you so much.
Thanks. Okay, Muhammad Al-Junaibi. Muhammad, how are you? Unmute, please.
Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Assalamu rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Doctor, I just wanted to ask the labs, do we have to complete them?
I think for yourself, if you want to really better understand and practice, complete them. I would advise you to complete them, but they are not part of the requirement to get the badges from IBM. The requirement are two things. You need to finish all the review questions. You will get 50% of the grade from the review questions, and then the final test, which you will get another 50% of that one. But the labs will help you later answer the test, because they will give you practice to understand how it works. Yeah.
And are we going to have some kind of project for this course or no?
Now we don't have for this time. Maybe next time we'll come with an idea for a project, but we will be doing some case studies next week of some data analytics and analyzing certain data. And then you can use that one maybe and run your own project if you want.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, pleasure. Okay, thank you everyone. And I think you are ready to start today's session. So today we'll be talking about files. First, we'll work about something simple. I think you will love it. It's easy thing. It's just how to read and write files. And then we will move into Pandas. Pandas is a library for data science, which work with large data. So we'll be accessing some huge big data from different places. And then we're going to understand those data, draw some chart of the data, summarize it, maybe remove some duplications, things like that. This course again is introduction. So we're not going too much deep into data analytics, but we'll give you the tools that will help you go further yourself, the advice and the resources that you need to do more and more in that. So reading files, which is something that we need to cover. It's part of the course. In Python, they have a command called open. So this command open, it opens the file, and you just need to supply the name of the file. And then you need to decide, is that opening for reading only, to read the data, or it is for writing, or it is for appending. So if you use R for reading, W for writing, and A for appending or adding extra data to the file. And then there are commands that allow you to read the whole content. This one it will read the whole content of the file. and then a command to close it. So there's so many commands we'll be looking at it, or functions or methods that we will be looking at it later. This one simply will open the file called demo file.txt. It will open it for reading. It will read the whole content and then close the file. Now, what are we going to do with the remaining? We can look at it later. These are some of the methods that you need to know. Close, you know, after you read the file, you are done with the file, you need to close it. Yeah, that will optimize memory, that will make your code secure, and for many reasons, you need to do that. And the other command called read. Read only will read the whole content of the file, okay? But there is something called read line that will read line by line. You run it once, it will read the first line. You run it again, it reads the second line. You run it again, it reads the third line, and so on. So this read line by line. There is another one with S, read lines. So it take all the data and put it in a list. So you've been coming to us for some time now, you know what is list. So you will have all the content in a list, and we will look at it, we will practice this one. So the difference between read lines and read, I know you're asking now, this is read everything, this one reads everything, but this one read everything as a one block of data. This one, no, divide it into list of items for you. So this is the difference between the two. Now write is you write back to the file. So you can add to it. If you open it for append, you will add to it. If you open it for write, you will start writing to that file. So this is write, allow you to write to the file. And this one is write lines. So you have a list somewhere of text, which put in a list, and you want to send it to the file. We use write lines. Let's practice. So you go to the cognitive classes, you register, you log in, then you find any of the labs. You know now what I usually do. We are in here in 4. There is a video, you can go through that one and read that video. It's very nice. But let's go directly to the lab. Yeah. And we will start the lab. It takes a few minutes to load, and then we should be ready to start our coding. So read files is reading the files you have. So it has so many applications. Sometimes you have some data in your files, or sometimes you need to create files. I'll tell you one thing I usually do. I sometimes use Python to create a web page or HTML file. So you have a big data, I want to put them all in a nice table. So I write some code in Python, and it will generate for me a web page, HTML page with all the JavaScript, whatever you want to do there. And this helped me take data and convert it to a web page, for example. And sometimes you have certain data, you need to send it to your file in different format. Now, as we usually do, I'll create a folder. I'll call it module. Mine is really not organized. Okay, but we'll call it now module 4. So I created a folder using this one. I'll go inside. Why I did that? Because now if I create anything, it will come there. Click on the plus. We'll do Python because you're doing Python. Let's practice now on creating a new file. So let me say file1 or F1. Yeah, F1 equal open, and let's come with a file. I'll call it data.txt. You can call it anything, comma W. So this line, what it will do, it will now create a file. You see the file came there, data.txt, because I used W to create it. Yeah, let me go into the file. No, I will not go into the file. I'll come here and write to the file. So let me write F1, write, and let's write to the file introduction. Yeah, introduction. Yeah. If I hit enter, now introduction is added. It's telling me it's 13 lines. If I click on this and open it, I'll find introduction. I need to close this one. Open it again. No, it didn't go. Yes, this is very good. Now I wrote write to the file. It didn't create the file because it will wait for me to close it. File close. So after you write everything, you need to close the file. So I close that file. And now if I double click, you can see I have introduction there. Okay. So I can start now playing with that file. If I run this one again, it will delete everything. Let me put it all together in one cell, just to help you understand this one. And I have in my brain two things I'm thinking of it. One is the exception, how to show you how we do the exception, which we didn't discuss, and the question from I can't remember the name, to deal with the for while loop later. So we'll see if we can practice. Now this is all in one place. Yeah. If I run it again, it will delete that file and create a new file. It will delete and create. I can start adding between close F1, write, and let's say here, this, I write anything here. This course will introduce you to Python for data. Oh, I'm doing this just because I want to show you for sure something that you need to be aware of it. So now I run this cell. The file has been updated. If I open it again, I'll see the file came. But you see how it came? All together in one line. How I can make this one a new line instead of being like this. So I'll go back to my code. If I come here at the end of this and put \n, and if I run this cell again, and if I go to the file, you will see now it's a different line. You heard me saying I create HTML file sometime, yeah? Assume if I call this one HTML, okay? Call it my page. Yeah, I change this one to my page. I call it HTML. And I come here and make this one heading 1. Those who know HTML, and nobody doesn't know HTML nowadays, they will understand what I'm doing with H1. Okay, and this is a paragraph, and I can link an image and anything. Now, if I do this, you will see now, you will see in a, yeah, it came. Yeah, see, this is the file. If you double click on it, it is HTML file. Yeah, there's something in my code. I did do introduction. Very good. Okay. So you can create any file. It can be HTML, can be a normal file, or can be anything. Yeah. So let's go back to our normal file because I want you to practice certain things. So data.txt, that was the file. And let's keep all those things here. Yeah. A good thing the file is already there. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. If I come here now and I need to do the read now, I created that file. I added 2 lines to that file. As you can see, there are 2 files in that, 2 lines in that file. Now I need to practice reading. So I come back here and say F1 or F2, call it O equal open. I need to put the same name of the file, which data.txt, I'm reading it for read. I'm opening it for read. Now this open it for me. And then I can say F2 read. Okay, I'll put a variable here, say data or content. Let's call it content equal F2 read. I use the full read. Then I'll say F2 close. Yeah. So what I have done here, I just opened the file for read because I used R here. And then I read the whole content. Then I close the file. I run it now. Then if I come here and say content, yeah, I'll get the content of the file. But see, this content has those N, and I also left this one by mistake when I was doing that. Okay, let's do here. Okay, yeah, it has that N. Now, if I change this one to not really read, have the other one. Again, remember this one, you put dot, you put tab. You wait few seconds, 1, 2, 3, yeah. You get now all the commands that related to file. And we spoke about read lines, read line, readable, all those commands. So this one closing, this is check if it is closed or not. This gives you the file number of that file. You know, the operating system keep a file number. This will flush your computer memory, so you don't always get the old data, and so on. And this is to give you the mode. Is it read, write? This give you the name of the file, and so on. This one allow you to search or seek certain position in the file and truncate and all those things. Let's use lines. Yeah, I want to show you the lines, which now if I do this and I come here and look at the content, see now my content is appearing like a list. Yeah, it is a list. Yeah, so if I say content 0, remember, I'll get only the first one. If I put content 1, I'll get the second one. It gave me the data as a list, the lines as a list. This is useful later if your file is organized in a certain way. It has first maybe the person name, then his date of birth, and put in this format. If you convert it to a list, they will be able to play with it and do many things with that one. Now let's think of something more or maybe more advanced. We have done this one, and we know something called function. Let me take this one here and create a function, div. I'll call it write file. Okay, it will take content from me, and then it will use that content to create a file. I need to indent this one, remember, to make them all in the same place. So maybe I say content, before that I'll put file. Yeah, this is the file name and the content. So in this place, I'll put file. Now, the whole thing here I don't need. Yeah, this I don't need. This one I don't need. I'll put content. See, this is a function now. I created my own function called write file. It will ask me for a file name. It will ask me for a content. Then it will go and send the file name and to a file. So if I run this one, now it's ready in the memory to be used. So I'll say write file, F uppercase, yeah. Now what the file name I want to call it? My new file, I'll call it .txt, assume. What is the content I want to send to it? I can send any basically content to this file like this. Yeah, but later I'll show you how I'll create different things. Now, if I do this, it will create something called new file. It will come here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, yeah, I have a mistake. Here I should say file, yeah, like this, not between quotation. Yeah, it should be file like this. It should be file without quotation because this is the variable I'm sending here. So let me delete this one, which there, so I don't need it. Now let's run this again and come and run this one. Now it's created for me a new file. And if I open it, I'll find my text there. So now I have a function that I can use it to store any data I have. This data can be anything. Now, if I come back here and I have data, for example, it's in a variable which I maybe copy data. Let me find. This is a nice data I want to copy. No, this is not the nice data I want to copy. I will find some data from where I can copy. It can be from our website, okay? About AGU. Yeah. This is our profile, and we're getting some data here. Let's copy this one, for example. Why I'm doing this? Because I want to show you later how we can translate this one and send it to a file, make it Arabic language and send it to another file, yeah? So data is the variable. I just replace this one now with data. Okay, there's something wrong with my end of scanning string. I think there's something wrong with my data. Let's get this. Yeah, it's okay. I think it was a long. It has some other things. We'll do it in a different way. Now this is our file. So if you go inside this one, our new one, and it has the data. Now let me take this data now from here. This is whole thing. And do you remember how we did that translation last time? We had, okay, I'm just saving this file here myself, and just save this file. Let's see if it is saved. Is it save file? Yeah. Okay, very good. Now I have that one. So I have a function now. What it does, it writes to a file, yeah? And I change that file. I need to create another function which read the file. So I can use exactly the same one. I come here and say read file. So read file, it takes file. It needs only the file name. Then it goes to the file name and do for me F1 read, yeah, and it will store it for me in a variable called D, for example, D equal this. Then it will close the file and then return, remember the return D for me. So this is a new function now. If I call it and give it the file name, it will search for the file and read it. And now we come into the exception, yeah? Read file. What is the file I want to read? I want to read the same file that I uploaded there. So let me put this one. Yeah. So if I run this one, it's having a problem with F1. Yes, because the file is meant for writing. Yeah, this is good. Notice if the R, it was for writing or not for read. Now it's reading. By same, I just destroyed that file. And then if I run it here, yeah, I'm getting the data coming here. So every time, if I add to this one, another line new and say something like this, I read there, I can read it, it gives me the file, yeah? So I have a function. Now assume I called the wrong file. The file is not there. I said read read.doc, something like this. I get an error because I'm calling a file that does not exist. Yeah. So how I can solve it? This is now the exceptions. The exceptions, which we did not cover last time, they deal with error handling to avoid your code crashing. Here is it. So this is the one we did, exception. So it helps you avoid having your computer to crash. And how you do that, you can use a command here. Before read, I can use try, then I push this thing there. Yeah. Now try means if there is no error, yeah, execute this one. But if there is an error, then there's something called exception. Yeah. This is in case there is an error, just print a message for me, print file cannot be found. Okay, so let's look at it now and run it again. See, I'm giving the wrong file. It's not giving me an error because this try and catch in Java and others, they call it catch. Here they call it except. Yeah, it has try, except, else, finally. Yeah, which Java has try, catch, and finally. Anyway, try means if no error came from here, this is fine. But if you find an error trying to execute this one and you find an error, jump to the section where it says except and don't stop the code. And this is what they call it, exceptions. So there are situations when things do not work, just do the exception. Yeah. And that's where it is. Now, it seems that you're not getting the chance to ask questions here. So you are asking there. Now, I felt you are doing this because I didn't enable asking questions. Okay, so let's back to this one. I think we covered all those things. So we did the exceptions and then things are clear. So we know now it's very simple. R is just if you want to read the file, use R. You need to write, use W. If you need to add to an existing file, use A. So we can add another function. Let's take this one. Yeah, and put it here and open the same file for append. And we will add here, I should have taken not this function. I should have taken this function, which I need to fix it and make it try and catch. So try and except. I keep saying catch because that's the this is, we can say print. Sometimes you cannot write to the file because of permission. To the file. So this other function we created now, it looks better because it has the handling of the errors. Selma, I can see your hand up. Now, good, we have a new function. It does exactly, it takes the file, the content, and everything. So by what it does, it's add, yeah, but let me copy this one, as I said, and create a third function. I'll call it append file. I'll use A here. Now this new function, now I have three functions. I have a function that write to a file. I have a function that read from a file, and I have a function that append to the file. And if I use append to file, this one here, and put file, the same file name, the actual file name we created last time, which this this one. Okay, so we'll come here and do this one, quotation and quotation, and we'll keep content. We'll add a new content there. So let's add our new, say a new line. Yeah. Okay, new text. New text. Okay. So now I'm appending, means I will not change what's existing here. This one is old because we made lots of changes to it. Yeah, this is the final one. So if I go back to here, now I'm not going to, I'm going to append to it, yeah? So if I do run, there's something, oh, here is this one. Where is that one? No. Oh, here, this is the error here. I should not have this. Okay, now it's done. Then if I reopen the file, you'll see the new things is supposed to be added there. New text, okay, it's updated now. I can see it refreshes. Yeah, see, new text is added to it. A new text is added to it. So now I have three functions, which in my control. One is for writing to a file, one for reading file, one for appending file. Okay. I know last time one of you made a really good comment. Say, why don't you give chance to people ask questions about the topic that you covered? And I just covered this one, so I need to give you a chance to ask questions before we got into the game. Or should we do the game and then come to this one? Let's do the game and then we come and ask the question. Okay. Okay, so get ready. Join, please. Get this game. We'll have few questions to make sure that you understand the read, write, append, the opening file, and things like that. So later I can explain it if I notice nobody is answering it. For the final exam, can we refer to the code? Yes, you can refer to the code. Answer. Very good. Okay, audience. Okay. The deadline for completing review question, no deadline, just finish them as you can. When you finish them, you are fresh, you will have more chance you're going to get the right answers. But if you keep it until later, you will forget and then you will not be able to do it. If you do it, you finish, practice, and then do it, then you will be fine. I need to find that questions that the while one, which someone said it was not really good. Astarat Sharikat, thank you for Astarat. Or send it to me by email. If you have problem with any code in the lab, send it to me. I will maybe create for you a short video to show you how it works or explain it for you. No worries. Okay, you are ready now. We have good number there. Let's start doing this. And 1, 2, 3. The others can join later. First question. Now in Python, how to open the file data.txt for write? Should give you 20 seconds for this one. If everyone answer, it will move automatic to the next one. Okay. Now, while you do that, I'm just looking at this. I can see the slide here. Yeah, when I was doing the code, the slide was not open, but now you should be able to see it. Okay, where did it go? Okay, so we have the answers, basically, W, and 83.897 did that one, which is great. It cannot be right. There is no right. And it cannot be append, because append, you're writing to an existing file, not opening file for write. It's opening file for modification. Okay, who is there? Yara, good. Yara, John, very good. That's great. Yeah, next question. What is the result of this command? F open data R F1 read. Does it read the first line? Reads all lines as a list, or reads the full content of the file as one element? Okay, so we are almost there, and 1, 2, 3, 0. It's around 70% selected. The one, yes, they are similar. This one and this one are similar, but the one that reads it as a list, they call it read lines. Read lines, create a list. Read only, take the whole content as a one data. That will make now a difference on the score. We'll see. Radufan and John are now leading. Okay, good. Now we're moving into the more interesting thing called Pandas. Yeah, Pandas is a library for data science and data analytics. It has so many things there which you can look at it. Okay, now before we do that, do you have any questions related to the previous one, which open? Raise your hand. I will give you a chance to speak if you have any question about opening and closing files and reading data from the file. Yeah, but if you raise your hand, please be ready to unmute your microphone and speak. Sorry, Muhammad, please speak.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah,
Doctor, while the session exactly for opening files for read and write, there was an error first, then you deleted the object, the file, then you open it another time. Yeah. Now, this comes us to a point that sometimes the same file is opened in the back end.
Yeah.
So in other languages, normally we do numbering for opening files. Let's say open this file as number 1, open this file as number 2, something like that. Yeah. And also sometimes we need to open the same file simultaneously, one for read modi and one for write or something like that.
Yeah, and you can do the same thing here. You can do exactly the same thing in Python. Now, if you open it for read, you can create another variable and open the same file for write. You also have the option to get a number for each file, which the unique operating system number that giving to that file. So you still can work with the same file on multiple things. One is only for read, you open the other, but you come with a different variable. F1 will be the one that for example, read, and F2 for write, and F3 for append. So you have the 3 of them open together, and then you can deal with it. But when you close for read, you close only for read. For write will not be closed because the variable is different. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you say now F1 open and you come with a file, yeah, and you say this one will be open for write, yeah. The same file, you can take it, store it in F2, yeah, and open it for read. And the same file again, you can put it in F3 and open it for append. So you have connection to the file 3 times at the same time.
Okay.
You can do this here.
Yeah, but how we can exactly assign the number, opening the file number, not file name, also in addition to the file name, the number which will this file be opened?
Yeah. When you click F, you will find there is also something related to the file number. There is a property there. It gives you a unique number. This is the one. This one will give you the unique number of that file.
So I can still close the file on that number, or I have to do this way, this method?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, pleasure. Thank you. Nada, unmute you, and you need to unmute your microphone. Good. Yes,
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you, doctor. I'm sorry, I have a small request. Can you please slow down a little bit, because this last part was too fast for those who don't have a background in programming. So I was not able to keep it up with the pace. And I see some comments in the chat saying the same as well.
Very good. Okay, sure. I will slow down. I will repeat this one as well.
Thank you.
And then I'll slow down. I'll just give quick review of it, then I will slow down. Okay, no, thank you for that feedback. Okay, Hussam, please unmute. Yes, Hussam, we're not hearing you. Maybe there's something.
My question, if I have 100 files, okay,
yes,
and want to open one line, for example, 70 the 70 rows, if we count rows.
Yeah.
So if it's possible to calculate something between 100 files.
Yeah, exactly. This is a very good question. That's possible. Yeah, I'll just give you one example. I have we have a new building here in Lane, and during the constructions, there is a process called snagging, desnagging, whatever the engineers do. So we collected more than 2,000 images of different parts of the campus. And these 2,000 images, we need to give it back to the engineers to do some work with it. So what we did, we created a Python code that went through the folder that has the 2,000 images and opened every file automatic, did some processing on that file, and created a PDF with all the document and the issues in that document. There's certain structure we created. Automatic, it just went one by one. You give the folder and say in that folder, read all the files that has JPEG. It will read them one by one, and each one, it will apply certain process. If you have a certain process, you're looking for certain text on that image or certain characteristics on that image. So it goes and do these processes and extract those data, put it in a report, and attach all the images in one PDF file and create an image for a group of images for certain situation. So yes, you can. You can search, not what we're doing now is opening file by file to show you there's a command to open. But if I use another command that look at the folder and then create a loop to go through the content of the folder and then applying certain process for everyone, that really doable. And in Python, it's really amazing and very simple thing to do. And once you do it, you can repeat it multiple times. Yes, you can do that. And this is the idea behind it, but we cannot take you directly into that. We give you the tools. The tool, you have a command to open a file. Now you want to open million files, just find where are those million files. Yeah, access that folder where they are, and then use a command that go through the folder and find you the file name of each one, then put them in a loop and start doing your process, which you need to do. So that's where it is. Thank you for that. Good question. Yahya?
Yes, sir, Dr. Ahmad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Sir, I was saying that kindly some people are not technical here and slow speed, catching speed, I mean. So please can share video lectures, recording lectures link here so we can follow it afterwards, your class or someone is.
Okay, excellent. You'll find all the videos in this link I will show you now.
Okay,
If
sir.
you go to our community.edu.ac.ie, you log in there. You need to create an account. If you don't have an account, you click here and create the account.
Okay, sir.
Once you create account, I'll just a few seconds, I'll show you where you get it. So you
Okay,
get
sir.
there.
Okay. Thanks,
And,
sir.
yeah, pleasure. And we have the course is here.
Okay, sir.
The previous 3 videos that we have done are here. Yeah. And today one will be added somewhere here. Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you, Yahya. By the way, Yahya is my brother. And I always feel happy when I see someone his name Yahya. Sama.
Hi, doctor. How are you?
Very good. Alhamdulillah. Everything is good.
Thank you. Doctor, I have a question. Do we have to create account if we are EDU student also?
Yes. Yeah, you need, because this is a community portal, is different from the one we're using for our existing student. It's not Blackboard, as you noticed.
Yeah.
So you need to create an account, yes.
Okay, also one thing, doctor, for the last lecturer video, you upload the video in the module 4, not in module 3.
Oh, really?
By mistake.
Okay, I'll fix that one if I did that. I thought I can see here, this is module 1.
Yeah, and
oh,
I checked before
right.
the lecturer, yes.
You're right, sorry for that. Good,
no,
yeah.
no problem, doctor, thank you.
Yeah, so I'll fix that one if I, okay, no problem. Thank you. The last questions before we go and continue. Clifford, please unmute your microphone.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I wanted to ask about the final exam.
Yeah, the final exam. Yeah, go ahead.
Are we allowed to refer to the labs or any other sources, or we are supposed to just focus on the final exam without help to any sources?
Yeah, the final exam would allow you to go back and review and do everything, but you have a limit of 1 hour to finish that in. Yeah. So if you go to this final exam and you read the instructions are here, if you click here on the community portal, you will find the telling you here what you need to do. Yeah. And then once you start the exam, then you go. Yeah. Once you click here, then you start the exam. And once you start, you cannot stop. You have to finish it in 1 hour. So don't click this one until you are ready to go for the final exam. So it is in the community, it's on the IBM cognitive class. You log into cognitive class, create account, you come here, and you need to finish the review questions and the final. Doing only the final, you will not get the certificate or the badges that you need. Is that
okay?
Clear?
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Yeah, it's very clear.
Thank you. Okay, team. So again, I need to slow down. Yeah. Now I'll do just a quick review on those file and then we'll come back to things. I think I just speeded up when I came to the try and catch maybe or somewhere else. Anyway, let's review, take this one, for example, okay? We created a function here. We called it read file, yeah? read file. And if you came last time, you could have noticed that the way we create the function is you need the word diff, then a file, then a name for the function, and the name can be anything, just avoid having spaces in that one, or starting by a number. It has to be one word. And the naming convention in programming in general, Python, C, anything, the first letter can be lowercase of the first word, and the second word will be uppercase. So write files this way. This is the usually people use, but it doesn't make difference to the code, but it makes difference to the people reading your code. And then inside, you can send some data. Of course, if you want to create a file, people will ask you, what is the file name? So this one file is the file name, and you can call it file name if you prefer. But that means you come here and change this one also to file name. Okay, then what is the content you want to send? So I use CONT. You can be anything. You can call it C even. Yeah. And in this case, you just change this one to C. You need just to be consistent. It can be anything, but again, no space in between that one. So this is a function that create. Now, when you create a file, you have some chances of having some errors. One of it, maybe you're trying to write to a folder that you don't have the right to write to. So that will generate an error. To avoid getting an error, we use a command called try with semicolon, try semicolon, and then we can put the code that related to writing to the file inside that TR by moving it to the right, doing some indentation. And the indentation in Python is a must, because if the code is written this way, it's different from written this way. If it's written this way, the name one is not part of try. It has to go like that, so to be part of it. So this section is now the one that write to the file, create the file and write if there are no errors. If there are errors, this message will come. Now, let's come back to this one. Dealing with a file contains few steps. One step is you open the file, either opening it for write or for read or for append. In this case, we're reading it using W for write. We want to write to it. If we need to read, we'll put R thing. Now, this file has been now opened. After this step, the file is opened. And we have a variable in C and others. You'll talk about pointer and things like that. So this F1 now is representing the file. If you need to do anything with the file, use F1. You will see in the lab there is something called width. Yeah, this could have been changed like this. Width, open file as F1. Okay, put colon here, and then you push like that. Yeah. Width, basically, it refers the same thing. The previous line and this line are the same. But now here saying, from now on, refer to the file as F1. So with open file, refer to, and apply that F1 to anything coming down. So F1 write, F1 read, F1 thing like that. So this also another way to write it. Now, back to this. This section is about writing to the file. So it requires a file name, it requires write or read or do whatever, and then it requires a variable that you can save it to. And then there's write, we write to the file. After we finish writing with the file, we need to close the file. Done. Once you close, the data will be actually written to the file. So the data will not go to the file until you close that file, then it goes to the file. It stays in the memory of the computer. In this type of files, there are so many types of files. This is only one. This is the fundamental, the basics file. But so many types of files in Python. Now, except will be executed only if there is an issue here, it cannot run the file. The good thing here, if you have some spelling mistake here, this code still will never stop. It will always give you exception in that case. So it handle it. Means this code will run only if there are no errors. If there is errors, anytime it discover any error here, it will jump to this line and display it on the exception. So this file writing, this one is the same, but instead of write, we have read. And here, instead of A, we have, instead of R, we have A. And these three files are doing three things for me. One is creating a file for the first time and writing to it. The second one is reading the content in the file. And the third function is adding content to the existing content in the file. So the difference between this one and the first one, the second one with append, it adds to the existing content. It doesn't delete the existing content. But the right one, when you open it for write, it will delete the existing content and add a new content to that one. Okay, so let's now get into Pandas, which I'm excited to take you there, but we're a little bit taking more time to get there. Okay, so Pandas is a library that used to do data analytics, data science. And it's a really great library. Why you need it? Because it just has so many tools, so many functions in place that can deal with all different type of files which you have, and it format the files you have in a readable format. It comes like a table, which we have. Okay, back. Here's an example. Remember we spoke about dictionary, yeah? We said we can create a dictionary, and let's do practical one, then I'll come to this example so you will understand it better. Okay, so let me come here, and let's create a dictionary. We call it students, yeah? And this one, remember the dictionary, how we created? So you have a name for it, you have equal, and then you need keys, yeah? You need F name, first name of the student, and can be Ahmed, yeah? Comma, then you need maybe student ID, yeah? And it can be, student ID can be any number like this, okay? Say program, the student is in, and it can be computer engineering or anything, yeah? Now, you can continue with this one. So this is the dictionary which we have here now. And now if we have many students with different name, I can put it as a list. So the first student is Ahmed, I put a list like this. And Ahmed, then the second one is John, because John doing well. Radufan, doing also well, I think. Hamza was doing well last time, yeah? So these are the list. Then they have their own IDs, yeah? Each one has his own IDs, yeah? Very good. Then they are in different program. Also, one is computer engineering, the other one is in civil engineering. I'm all engineering. Why? Let's get into something else. Then business, then health science. I'm doing it random, yeah? Health science. So I have a dictionary, yeah, which has name of the person, and it has so many names there. It has the ID and the IDs of everyone. then the program, So this is a dictionary which we have, and we know we did it last time. So if I say students, this is the dictionary. Do you remember that? Let me slow down here. The dictionary consists of a key, which is the first name, and then values. These are the values for that keys. So if name has Ahmad, have John, has Rodofan, has Hamza. Sorry if I spell anything wrong. ID has those numbers as the values. ID is a key, programs is a key, and these are the values of the programs. Now, dictionary is nice, but it doesn't look beautifully organized, yeah? Let's now get into Pandas. So Pandas is a library. If you want to use any library, you need to use the command import. Import Pandas as PD. What does that line means? Means go to the library, find Pandas, connect it to my computer, and from now and in, use the variable PD to revert to Pandas. So if you wanted to do anything for you, just call it. So let's do that one. Now this is important. Now if I do PD dot space, now you will find all the methods that are related to Pandas. So Pandas has so many methods. See, this is the API, which you can connect to another computer system somewhere else and fetch or read some data from there. It has some arrays, it has some Boolean types, it has so many things. The one here called data frame, and then it has so many types of things which help you do with your data. Of course, if we want to cover each one of this, we will take really good time. But the good thing, you can find the documentation about every one of this. We will cover the fundamental things that you need to know. And then after that, you will be ready. Okay, so let me now create a new data. I will call it registration. Yeah, registration. What I need to do, I want to use Pandas PD. Anytime I need Pandas, now I use PD. PD is Pandas. Dot, then something called data frame. You notice that one. And if I pass to it now the dictionary, which students, what it will do, it will convert that dictionary for me to a Pandas data frame. Yeah. Now I have in the memory of the computer something called Pandas data frame. If I do reg, you see, this is the dictionary, came like a table. Yeah, the same dictionary. So the names are here. This is the key, and these are the names. This is the other key. These are the IDs. This is the key, and these are the IDs. And this is one thing. Now, how can we use this one? Is it really useful? Let me show you something interesting. Okay, if you go to open data in the United States. Now, if you are interested in research, you want to start a new business, you're targeting the United States or any place. There are lots of open data. UAE has something called UAE Open Data. If you want to go to that one, you will find so many data there. It's published by different governments and ministries to help people understand the economy, understand the activities, and then analyze this data and come whatever they want to do. So if you go to the UAE, you will find all set of data. Like if you are in education sector, for example, like myself, you go there, you can look at the education outputs, and these are so many reports or data from different ministries, universities, and other places about the number of students, about the number of program, about the graduates, about many things. Yeah. And you can use this data and apply Pandas. We'll see an example how we can take this data, apply Pandas analysis to it, and do something with it. This is in the UAE. If you go to the open data in US, open data US, they also have something called data.org, which has huge amount of data about the economy, about the education, about the health, about so many things. Yeah. So this is huge data that you can search for anything. Yeah. Cars accident. I think there's something about car accidents. Traffic. I saw something about traffic. And you search anything, you will find all those data. The data are in so many different formats. Some of it you see HTML, some of it PDF, some of it JSON. JSON is similar to dictionary, which we can look. Some it XML. Yeah, all these data are there, and you can fetch those data and do something about it. So let's try maybe get one of these data. I don't need a big data because maybe it will take us time to load the data. But if you come to any of this, like this one, CSF, I'll just do right mouse click on it. I will say copy link. I'm not sure how big this one, but maybe you should click on it and see how big it is first before going there. This is November 2012 published, and it looks from December. Okay, looks not a big data. I don't want a big one. Okay, let's go back here to our code. Okay, I'll explain this, then I'll go to that data which I have covered in the memory. Now, we have something called data frame, just for you to understand what data frame. Data frame is a table. It has columns, it has rows. Yeah, very simple. And it has something called index. Here the index is 0. Yeah, I'll show you something. If I want to get, for example, this John, I want to get John data. Yeah, how I can get John? I can say reg dot iloc. There's something called iloc. Yeah, and John in the second row. Yeah, is in the second row in the first column, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. I'll slow down now. This is how you can search data. You have ilocate. Yeah, ILOC. ILOC. And now, because it's a tabular, you can find the data. So this is 0 because, yeah, this is 1. So John is in row 1, which the second row, column 0. Yeah. But if I go to column 1, what I will get? I will get John ID. Yeah. And so on. That's one thing. Now, if I want to take row 1, yeah, and take everything in row 1, yeah, this is row 1, and take everything. I just put here this column, yeah. Now give me everything in row 1, which, sorry, I'm pressing on tab. So I got John name, I got John ID, I got John program, I got John. See, this one you can use for millions of data this way. Now assume I want to add to this table another column here and say, for example, reg university, which university he is in, yeah, and equal, and I'll put them all in Abu Dhabi University. They are all in Abu Dhabi. Look, by doing just this line, assume I have million lines, yeah? Click this one, and I go back to reg now. What I see, it's added there. Now, this can be added in a certain condition. It's not always Abu Dhabi University. Maybe it's another table somewhere else. I go there and find the student ID from that table and take it and make it here. This can be all done in one line. No C language or any language can beat this one here. In one line, you can do things. You will spend multiple lines in other language to create it, because this is optimized for data analytics. It cannot do other things that C can do, which meant for C. Each one has its own. I always have this issue with people getting attached to technology, saying this is better than that one. Each one is there for a certain purpose, but one has maybe a bigger, wider scale, more support around, others maybe things like that. Anyway, so we just basically, with this line, we managed to add Abu Dhabi University to everyone here. This is the same thing if I have millions lines. It's just one line, hit it, it goes there. And if I read it from another table, which we'll come to it next week, where we'll do some advanced thing beyond this course. Basics we already have done, so we'll go a little bit more than that, so give you some skills. Okay, that's good. Now, the other things which I want to show you, I cannot show you on this one, so I want to go back to that data which I'm trying to fetch from here, yeah? Let's go here and show, yeah, okay. Pandas, let me say, what was that data which we're looking at it? NYS, I don't like this data. Sorry for that. I need something that data.org. I found one last time, but now I found one, took me 2 hours to load because it has 2 gig there to download just to my computer. It took me a huge thing. This one is tax. Yeah, it looks like maybe good. So let me, it's downloading it. I don't need to download it, the good thing. But if it takes ages to download it, that means it's too big. School, okay, this one will be a huge one as well. Oh, that's done. Okay, seem not really big. It's around, where's the class size? Okay, let's take this one, this more class size. Let's copy the link. Now back now to our here. So what you can do, we say school class size, yeah, class size. This is the name. I can call it anything, yeah, class size. Now I need to read that file which on that page somewhere. How I do? I just do pd dot read underscore CSV, comma separated file. Yeah, again, it's one of those commands which we have. And then I can put the URL here of that address. So basically, I did class size, read CSV, and now it's reading it, finished reading it. Very good. Now, if I say class size dot head, yeah, head, you maybe get some questions on this. Now, this basically will give me the first 5 rows of the data, regardless of the size of the data. Yeah, give me only the first 5. If I want to know how many data there, how many rows, I say len class size. This will give me, there are 3,335 rows in that one. But it just, when I said head, class size head, it gave me only the first 5 rows of the data. Similar thing, I can say tail. Yeah, tail, yeah, head and tail. This will give me the last 5 rows of the data. Okay, with the head, I have and tail. I have flexibility to get more. I want 10. I can get 10 with no issue. Yeah. These are the data there. Now, if I want to know what are the columns of this data, assume this is not a big one, but I need to know the columns of that one. I can use a command, say class size dot columns. This will tell me the name of the columns. The name of the columns, and the name of the columns can can be huge. Now, let me recap. I don't want you to be lost. What we did, we used the command read. This is getting too long, yeah? Okay, let me do it like this. So we used the command, which we use Pandas. We used read CSV, comma separated file. We found a file somewhere here, and later we will know how we can take 2, 3, 4, 600 files and merge them together and find duplication and remove these things. You will do next week, yeah, because it's not part of the course. The course is not requiring that, but I think you will be interested in something like this. Now, so we went there, took the address from that place, we brought it into our Pandas, and then we created a variable, new one, we call it class size, and we did this one, yeah? It's always important to understand this data. You look at it first, yeah? So what is this data? It looks like it has the grade, yeah, from 0, 1, 2, 3, I think to 12. Now, if we want to know how many grades, what are the grades actually in these 3,000 things? I'll show you something nice here. If I come and say class size, yeah, bracket, and then I find this one grade, yeah, see grades, it has some space in it. So I'll need to use it with the space, okay? Dot you, yeah, I'll do it just like this. Now, this gives me all the grades. It's a long list, yeah? And if I add to it unique, yeah, unique, I want the unique values of the grade. So that column grade, this column grade, which has 3,000 rows, these are the unique grades in it. So they have 0, 1, 0, 2, 3, as you expected, yeah, until grade 8, then 0 to 9, then 9 to 12. They have 9 to 12 in the US. It seems to be in a different place. So this is the one. Yeah. So we know that. Now I want to find a summary of that data. Yeah. So if I say class size, yeah, I'll say describe. Now, if you don't know how to find a command, then you can just put the dot and then you'll find. Now this will give me a summary of the data. What does it mean, summary? It tells me about any numerical number field. See, there are some field here. It has number of student seats field, yeah, and there is number of sections and number. These are numeric columns. Now, what it did, it gave me a summary for this column. So they look at the first column. How many counts? There are 3, 3, 5, 5. They all 3, 5, 5. What is the means or the average of that? If you can look at it in the seats field, the average is 831. Yeah, but in the number of sections, the average is 33. So this is good. 33 in a section. This is the average. The average class size in this data, we do it is 22 students per class. Yeah. So this gave me the average automatic. Standard deviation. This is the standard deviation of this, how far it is from the average. And then the minimum value. The minimum value in the seat field is 2, and in the class size is 2. So there are some schools has 2 students in class, and this is the minimum number of students in that. The maximum, some schools have 46 students in the class. So just summarize this one for me, but just one click. But the power, not really this. The power is you can write a small code, you can deal with so many different data, and you put them together and you create a meaningful data. Now, if I want to plot this one, draw it, I'll show you this one. Just add here, plot. See, it created a diagram for me of this summary data, which tells me the count, the means, the standard deviation, the minimum, 20%, 50%, and 75%, and the maximum. Just, this is just only the summary. I can plot, for example, anything. I can plot this column against a certain grade. So I need to filter the data, assume by only those who are in grade 4. Yeah, I want to see the data by only grade 4. What I can do, class size, this is all my data, yeah? I need only grade 4. This is a little bit complicated. It's not really complicated, but it will look like complicated. So I need to find you an easy way to show you how it works. Now, I found it now. I found the easy way to make it easy for you. Now, if I say class size and say class size and take, this is the, what is the class size column? The class size column is here. I need to find the columns, yeah, because I need to write the right column. The class, here is it, class number of class, yeah, average class size. This is the one I need to do, yeah. So I'll copy this name, which actually somewhere here, yeah. Here is it, average class size. But when I copy it from columns, I can see if there is a space inside, because sometimes there is a space will cause you a problem. Like for example, grade, they wrote it grade space, so that will cause a problem. Let me take this one from here. I will slow down and repeat it again. I got excited about this one, so excuse me for that one. Now, yeah, this is class size. If I need only those who have class size more than 30, yeah. So I said here class size more than 30. This what will give me? Will give me true, false, true, false, true, false, true, false, whatever it is. Yeah. So if I do that, I'll get all this false, 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 and there's some true there somewhere, because we know there are some class size from this one. There are some class size has more than yeah. So this gives me true and false. This is not useful to me. But how I can make it useful? I take this class size, put it here, and make a bracket, and make a bracket. I will explain it. Trust me. If I do this way, now I get a new table, include only data that the class size is more than 30. Yeah, I will explain it in very detailed. If you want to find any data, yeah, for any column, so you need data based on certain column. Sorry, certain column. Here we're talking about class size. So we need only the rows that has class size more than 30. So what you need to do, you need to take that column, okay, and apply a condition to it. So what we did here, we took that column, and I'm reaching to it here, this is. So we took the column, this is the column, yeah. We took class size, average, yeah. We're focusing on that one. We apply the condition to it if it is greater than 30, yeah. And then this is the one that we are focusing on. So we have an issue with school that has a class size more than 30. Let's find out what's happening in these schools, for example, yeah. So what you did, you looked at that column, which this one, and you made a condition, it is more than 30. So this is the one, yeah. So this is clear for you now. We're focusing on that column and making sure we're addressing those with more than 30. Now this column is part of the big data, yeah, which called class size. So this class size should be there, and you should have a bracket here and bracket here. So if we delete this, this is how it is. Class size, this is the whole data. Inside it, we're looking for class size when average is more than 30. So this way we slicing our data or focusing on certain parameters in the data. If we, for example, we want classes that are only grade 4. So we have here what we need to change, what we need to, here, I'll slow it down. Here I need to change only this one. I say grade, yeah. It's written this way, yeah, isn't it? Just, I want to make sure I'm using, yeah, grade, yes, that's the way it's written. So we need to see those who are grade equal 4, yeah? So we need only grade equal 4. So we can do this way. 0, 4. Is 0, 4 a number? I think it's a text, put as a text, I think. Because I look at it here, yeah, it's a text. So these are all put like a text. So I need to put the quotation there. Okay, here, back to it. So what I change here, I'm focusing now on the column grade, and I'm looking for those who are in grade 4 only. So I use equal because I need the exact grade 4. If I do this, it'll get me another table focusing only on grade 4. There's no one else here. This column only grade 4. And now I can maybe do a summary for this one. I say describe grade 4. By the way, you just press tab, it will complete it. Taking ages to complete it. Describe. If in your machine, if you install, it will be faster. Now it is describing only grade 4. So grade 4, there are some classes has 31 the maximum, and the minimum of grade is 14. So now grade 4, it seems in a better situation than the whole. And you can start playing with this one by one. And then you can make a loop to do a chart for each one. Now, if 0, 1, grade 1, this is the one, yeah? And then, and so on. Now I can have a loop to go through all this, yeah? And then I'll do different chart, which we will do later. Now, in summary, and this is what you need at the moment to know. Pandas allow you to connect to large data set. And you, as I said, we do dealing all with only one now. I can open 100 of them. I can have a loop, it goes through so many and find it. And then I can summarize it. There's so many commands, as we looked at it before. You remember we had, let's look at class size. This is class size, and let's see how many methods we have. So I can do so many things. I can aggregate data, yeah. I can align data. I can add to it, to a data frame. I can apply certain rules on that one. I can apply a map to it. I can do assign data, change the type or find the type of the data. I can backfill. If data is missing, I need to fill it. I need to find those who are empty. I can plot, so many box plot and so many type of plotting there. I'll show you where you can find all this. I can copy data from one to other one. Of course, I can sort it, index it, do many things. I can see how many commands I can apply to this data. Before I did show you the number of function in Pandas, but now I'm showing you how many functions in the data frame itself. So we have all those different things in the data frame. It's huge, and it works also with other libraries, not only itself. So it has another libraries connected to it that can help you do so many things which you can apply. Let me show you something powerful now back. This back now to this one. So we did this one, as you can see, and we run it now. I don't want to describe, I just want without. If I do this, this is only the data in grade 4. I can store it now in something called G4 equal. So I have small data, which focusing only on G4. The whole data is still there. Class size will give me the whole data. Yeah, but if I use G4, will give me only student in grade 4. Yeah, so that one way I can focus on my data. Let's look at our data now and do something like see the class size. I want to make the class size. I want to calculate something related to the number of sections and class size and number of students in the field. Let's multiply the class size by 2, for example. Yeah, so let's say G4. I'll create a new variable. I call it X, Y, Z, anything I like. It can like that. A new column I want to create. The new column will be multiplying the class size by 5, for example. So I can say G4. Yeah, this is the class size variable. Hopefully it is the right one. Yeah, multiply 4. Yeah, there's something absolutely wrong here because the class size, I think it's not the right name that I should be this space there or something like that. Average class size. Yeah, you need to make sure you have these correct names in that place. Is maybe not numerical, this one. Okay. Okay. There's something wrong here. It's calling me. Anyway, as we did before, we can take and create a new column, and then we can assign data to it. Now there's something here which, oh yeah, that's the one. G4 is G4 equal, put it like that. Now, okay, yes, it did work by saying me there is a duplicate data. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so G4 X, this is just a warning, yeah, is equal class G4 class size, which I think we did copy before. Yeah, it is multiply 4. If I do this, G4, yeah, if I do this and display G4 now, let's see what we'll have. We will have a new column came, which I created multiple times. A new columns here, they have the multiplication of this one, X, the last one, small x, is actually this one multiply 4. We can reset our data back. Where we go, we can, here is this one. Yeah, let's do this one. This is G3, G1. Okay, we just reset the data and we go here. Now, if we do this, you will have a better data. See now I have X, which I added. So you can add a new column that actually is a calculation of other columns. So I'm just showing you an example, just multiplied by 4, but it can be something else. You add this column is actually multiplying this one, minus 1, this one, going to something else, and taking data from somewhere else. We're still just in the basics now. So what we need to understand about the data frame, the basics you need for this course. You need to know that it has columns and rows. You can fetch a data based on the index of that data. So when we started up there, we are here. Where are we? Here, yeah, this one. So we have this table, has rows, columns, and rows. If you want to get John, we can use iLook, and we'll say we need row 1, which is the second row, column X, and you can do that. So this is something you need to know for this course now. The other thing you need to know is how to use the head and tail in the course. Plotting is another big subject which we can do next week. We'll do it slowly and we will repeat it. So these are the things this course will require from you at the moment. Understanding there's a data frame, you can access a data from somewhere else using read this one, PD read CSV, which will take you to read. I have some practice for you here to see how you will understand. Yeah. So this is again another example. We had a dictionary, we converted dictionary to data frame, and when we displayed it, it came this way. Now let's go to the question 3. Oh, we have still so many questions we didn't do. Okay, this is one question for you now. Get ready for it. If you have this dictionary, and in this case, you want to get Volvo, there's V missing there, sorry, Volvo. How you get Volvo? There, you need, there is iLook, there is IX as well, but the iLook is the most recent one. So IX is similar to iLook. So if you use iLook, how you find Volvo? Is it 100001? Okay. Time up. Okay. Okay, 64 managed to get it. Yeah, as we said in the example we had here, which is important for you to know this. Where is my, this example? Volvo is in the second row, which second row is 1, because this is 0, 1. So it's in second row. So I need to use 1 and 0. Because the first column, this is first column. This is not the column. This is an index. And you can see it has no title. So this is index. So this column, first column, which is 0. So 1, which the row, 0 is the first column. That will get you Volvo. If you want to get 2, will be 2, 1, because this is 1. Yeah, and so on. Okay, so we did this already, yeah? So the score is Radufan is taking the lead, John and others. Okay, let's look at the second one now. I can see more players now on the screen. By the way, the review question in this module are very simple. You can try them on the code before you answering them, so you can find out how things work, so you can understand. Okay, let's go now. 4. Now this is the question. We need to get 7 from this one. We will repeat this one next week, not tomorrow, because you need to get these pandas very well, and we need to look at many examples so you master it, because now you are getting into the data science, data analytics, which is very important. So we'll spend more time on pandas tomorrow, and after. The last module is not that complicated. We can finish it quickly. So spend maybe 2-3 days on pandas and data analytics. That will give you a solid understanding of how it works. finishing the module is simple. We're not looking for finishing some module. We need to learn, yeah? This is correct, yeah, great. Now you understood it after you looked at the previous example. And that's how people learn. We as humans learn by knowing our mistakes and learning from mistakes. Radofan is you doing great. John holding, yeah? There's not big difference. So be ready for a surprise if it happened. Now, this is question 5, which will require maybe some explanation when we finish. Now, how to display the first 5 rows in your data? Which command do we use? Of course, it's the data dot, then the command. And we looked at it and we have seen examples. So that's something you need. No more? Yes? Good, okay. It is head. Head will give you the first 5 rows of your data. Dot head, we did it there, and I just want to get Zoom to fix this issue which is coming here. Now, if I am in this data, the last data I have, which we call it G4. So I say G4 dot head will give me the first 5. See, these are the first 5 data there. See these numbers because the index is different in the big data. We took only student with grade 1 in this one. Yeah, remember. Okay, now good. Who is taking the lead now? Still. We'll see now. Which command is used to display the columns of the data frame? Remember we find what are the columns of that data frame? So we use the command for that one. Very good. Yes, it's columns without, not really very good. This is the right one. It's columns without, this is confusing. I know it's confusing us sometimes. So if you say G4 columns without, it will work. Yeah, but if you use bracket, because it's not a command, it is an attribute. Remember yesterday we spoke about attributes? So this gives you an error. It should be columns without the practice. Yeah, I expected you to have this one because it's confusing. Then because I did it only once here. Usually you need to do it once. When you open the data, you need to look at the columns and you say the name of the data dot columns, so you can later use it to reference your data. I didn't repeat it more than once, but this is okay. Now you know it. Okay, time VSKA. That's change really, yeah. I didn't see any of you, the one who were taking the leads here now. This is huge change. Okay, let's see. The last one. Now, assume that you have data frame D that include the column names, named customer, column named customer. How to get all unique data in customer. We did this only once as well, but I think you will get it. We did it when we looked at the grades. Say, what are the grades? And we find this from 0 to 12, and grade 9 and 12 are together. So that's what we did with that one. Yeah, it's good. I think it's a good distribution expected because of how it is going. Time VSKA. That's great. Congratulations. It's good to have change, yeah? Others don't feel bad about it. But again, just I want to remind you with this way, the unique one, yeah? The unique one before we go. Now we were looking at, see the program type, for example. I want to know what are the unique program types in this G4. Yeah, it's actually G1, but anyway, G4. So what I do here, I say G4, open curly square bracket, and then I say program. Again, it's a case sensitive, yeah? You need to have the same space. If I do like this, it will give me all programs type. But if I add the word unique, then I will get only the unique data, which in the program type, there is only in grade 4, grade 1, there is only general education, CTT, G and T. These are the type of data we have there. So don't unique, and it's not an attribute, it's a function. The only one, so you don't get confused, that doesn't require square is the columns, which are an attribute, which you will be dealing with most of the time. The others we use, unique has open and close bracket. We used also describe, and it use bracket. We use plot. By the way, this plot you can have inside something called kind equal bar. This will be plotted as a bar chart. Yeah, so many of it. You can look at it if you want to know how to do, say, pandas plotting, yeah, or plots or whatever. And you will find visualizing pandas. And these are all the different type of plotting that you can have in pandas for your data. You can plot it in so many different ways. You put it histogram, you put it box plot. This will find the outliers. If you know a little bit some statistics background, you will understand that and the benefit of each one of it. And these are all the types of plotting, and very simple. This is just a command you need to know. You want to do box plot, this is the way you do box plots. Yeah, and then you just understand it works. So learning this is not really complicated, but you need to just spend some time on it. So these all the type of plots you can have for your data. Okay, but we need little bit to spend some time so you can master that. Now, in terms of the course, the remaining, if you want to complete the review questions, you have everything needed to review the question. Although we didn't discuss the API, but the API are not a big thing in this review questions. These are the review questions. You look at them, you will know how it works. Yeah, this one about reading file, And if you read it, you'll understand. This is again about reading files, writing to a file. Yeah, and that's how it is. This one is opening it for our appendix. And the last one is just a simple one about head of the data frame. Yeah, so this one you can finish it today with no issue. But I want you to practice more, and we do some more examples so you can get better understanding of how it works. Thank you for coming. You know, I didn't answer many of the questions today because I just get busy with the other things. But I'm sure you have 15 questions here. But most of the time, people ask me this question: where I access the video. What if I want to create and write at once? Yeah, you can do create and write at once. Absolutely. If you open file for read for write, then you can write to it as much as you want to do. Yeah, this is good. This one we did last time when we wanted to translate our code. This is the one that you can use to translate. This is good. Yeah, but I don't know what your questions, but it's right. Yeah, this is translating. Can we have multiple except? Yes, you can have multiple except for one try. Yes, you can. And there are some specific things like dividing by 0. There is a special except for it, or try for it, that you can do, or accept as well for it. And others as well, like the name of the file is wrong, this specific. How to read multiple files? You can read multiple files. Just you need to have access to the operating system, and then, or the folder. Then when you do that, it gives you access to that. I have a code here. Maybe I should show you. Let me open. I know we already finished. You can go if you want to go, just to answer those questions before I go. So this is the example I gave you here, or no, I think I put it into, not this computer. No, here, okay. This is here. This is here. Python. Where is that one? I have so many files. Last time I worked on this. Now I'm losing my brain. PH Python. I did it somewhere. I can't remember where I put that file. It's on the other computer. It's on my other computer. Oh yeah, it should be new canvas. It should be new building. Here's the new building. And then there's something called snagging here. Yeah, we are there. I will show you this one, create a PDF. Yeah. Okay, let's open this